guys, this is Sophia and today I am filming a type of video that honestly I never expected I would ever be filming for YouTube. But it is going to be me testing out 3 of the most popular TikTok bloating relief hacks that I could find, and there are definitely more out there that I could try. So if you like this video and if you like me testing out these kind of hacks, either like the video or let me know in the comments so I know that you want to see more of these, and let's just get started.
Because I already know sitting here before editing that this video is going to be long.
Sorry, but there was a lot of information to cover. By the way, I do want to share one quick disclaimer. Anything I mentioned in this video is not a direct attack at the creator or just the content in general. I am purely looking at this on a scientific level in terms of whether or not it works, how I feel about it, and whether or not I would come back to this personally, and I'm just choosing to share those thoughts with you. So please know that what works for me might not work for you and vice versa. I definitely don't want any of you to think that I'm personally attacking the creators, and I really hope that anyone watching this will not see it that way. I think all of these are super cool and super interesting, and I honestly had fun filming this video. So now let's get into it. The very first hack, which you will see right here, is a bloating relief smoothie. This was very interesting to me, and I definitely wanted to include one sort of food related hack. There's definitely a lot of steps, but you know, for the most part, the ingredients are pretty self-explanatory. And after having watched this video, let's just get straight into me actually making the smoothie and trying it out.
Is there something after there's nothing to say?
Moment of truth. It's already separating a little bit. This is a lot. It's not bad. You can definitely taste the ginger. You can definitely taste the spinach, but they're not very strong. And I think partly is because I put in a little bit extra apple. Oh, I'm feeling that ginger now. In the video, she doesn't mention if we should drink this on an empty stomach or not, and I am. And I'm already feeling like it's acting funny on my stomach. I think I'm gonna save the rest. I'll take one more sip, so it's like a little bit more halfway. My ginger is really kicking in now. Oh. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes since I drank the first half of the juice smoothie. I don't even know what you call it. I am really feeling that ginger in my nose. I just want to give that heads up. So if you don't like ginger and you don't like the way it feels in your body, you might not like this smoothie. There's a physical feeling that I can feel that's different in my nose from the ginger. Oof, just came back. Oh my god, it's getting stronger. Now it's just getting weird to breathe. Half hour mark, I could feel my stomach churning and I had to go poop. The ginger is the one that's like kind of pushing doing the detox. I definitely feel like my stomach doesn't feel as heavy after going to the bathroom as it did before, like when I just woke up, so that's good. Okay, so it's been about an hour and I'm about to start my workout. I don't think you'll be able to see a physical difference in the hour before and hour after, because I think it's one of those things that takes time. I mean, detox in general takes time to flush out the toxins. And obviously, like I said earlier, I will be finishing the rest of the smoothie after I'm done eating for the day. So we'll see how tomorrow morning goes. But yep, that's it.
Later. We're just moving in circles, but we're losing our shape.
So I just put it back in the blender. And I put ice and extra water. I feel like now all I can taste is ginger and spinach and water. Like I can't taste the apple or the lemon.
It's a beautiful morning.
I think the ice definitely helps, but again, you know, the entire smoothie has been in the fridge, so it's just cold all over. I feel like my throat is starting to constrict now. It's like starting to reject all the ginger. This is like the most ginger I've ever had in one sitting, or in one day even. So now at the end of it, and it's basically just pulp and ice.
The next day.
Let me share some thoughts with you. So Around the 2-hour/2.5 hour mark, I started needing to go to the bathroom, and I went. I pooped. It wasn't a very, this is so weird. It wasn't a very satisfying poop. It still felt like I had stuff in there that wouldn't come out. I'm sure you know what I mean. And then I went to bed, but as like, you know, I fell asleep fine, but I could feel the ginger like doing things in my stomach while I was trying to sleep. And then this morning I woke up and I had to poop again, which makes sense.
Later.
Okay, let's go drink it.
Slowly disappears in the night.
Ooh, I think I added in more ginger than last time. The ice definitely helps because it makes it colder. My throat is already constricting. This is gonna take some time to finish, but
20 minutes later.
okay. Making a face because I'm getting to the pulp part, and it's basically just like eating spinach, which I hate. So I drank the entire amount. My stomach is already churning. I feel like I'm extra bloated because I drank so much liquid. Oh, I can really feel that in my stomach. Oh god, wow. I will let you know tomorrow morning if this actually does de-bloat you overnight.
The next day.
Last night after I drank the juice, I could feel the ginger in my tummy, like I mentioned. I expected to like need to go to the bathroom / poop like the previous night I drank it, but nope, didn't have that sensation. I went to sleep, no problem. I didn't have like the weird ginger feeling. And then this morning, woke up, I went to the bathroom like I usually do. That's always like the first thing I do, TMI, I know. But I didn't have that feeling that I needed to poop. I usually poop in the morning, almost without fail. So the fact that I didn't feel like I needed to is weird. And I will say, I feel like I'm actually more bloated waking up than I usually am. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe the juice hasn't fully digested in the middle of the night, but that makes zero sense because I've never woken up feeling as bloated as I do right now. If you are trying to do this, I think my recommendation is to do what I did on the first day, which is make the smoothie in the morning, drink half of it, and then drink the other half at night, because then you're effectively like taking it in increments. And your body will have time to digest, you know, the morning one before it has to digest the night one, as well as all the food you've been eating all day. You know, I'm not hating on this creator. I'm not saying that like, oh, they're misleading you. This might effectively work for them, and that is totally fine. Every single body is different, but I'm saying that this did not work for me. Okay, now for the second hack. This is really just, I'm gonna call the last two exercises because that's probably the best way to explain them. Out of the three, it is the simplest one. And you know, as you can tell from the length of the video, like it is super short. And because of that, let's just get right into how the exercise fared for me. Seems like this person is a nurse, so that's good. Find your sternum and belly button. Halfway between is acupuncture point. Question is, how do I find it? So massage for 1 to 2 minutes. So say how to, just circles. 1 to 2 minutes, okay. Ooh, that feels weird. Feels like I'm massaging almost right above, if not at the very top of where my stomach is bloating. Okay, it's starting to hurt a little bit, so maybe I'm massaging a little too hard.
It's a beautiful morning.
It is definitely starting to hurt, even when I've like started doing it lightly.
You even notice
Feeling like a weird physical reaction. It's making me hurt.
it's a beautiful morning.
About a minute and a half.
If I gave you the sunset, you wish for.
You can see a difference. Doesn't look like there's a difference, but my like right here where I was pressing is definitely a little red. So it's been about 2 minutes since I did that. I've just been like feeling like I need to keep burping, or have been keep burping. Now it's been about an hour and a half. But basically, in the first hour, it was very similar to what I said at the beginning when I did the exercise. I just kept burping, and I had this kind of uncomfortable feeling in the area that I did the exercise, which I think led to the burping. That being said, the reason why I remembered to pick up the camera to do the check-in was because at the around hour and 15 mark is when I started to feel stomach pains. It made me think that I was going to basically go poop, but I didn't. But I still have this uncomfortable feeling in my tummy, which does not feel good, but it definitely feels better now than when I initially did the exercise on myself.
The next day.
So, the thing I forgot to mention, at the time that I filmed that check-in, so an hour and a half later, I believe, I could feel my stomach becoming lighter. That didn't necessarily translate as the bloating was disappearing or anything, but I could feel it becoming lighter, and I think part of it was because of all the burping I was doing, like I was letting all the gas out. The second thing is, immediately after that check-in, I went back onto the toilet and I pooped. You know, waking up this morning, the first thing I noticed was how less bloated I usually am in the morning, which is interesting because I actually had more snacks yesterday than I usually do. So I think I'm gonna try this exercise again tonight. I'm going to do it right after, when I feel bloated, probably right after dinner, and then I'm gonna have ice cream and see if that still progresses the same way as it did this time, the first time, because I'm just personally curious, and I thought you would be curious too, like what happens to the effects after you eat once you've done the exercise.
Complain about the waves.
Later. 3 hours later.
Still burping. The reason why I didn't do a check-in at the 2.5 hour mark is actually because in the 2.5 hour mark I had to go to the bathroom. So right on cue, what I had for dessert is I had a small bowl of ice cream, I had 2 chocolates, and ton of tea. Yeah, so I'm done eating for the day. Kind of similar to what happened yesterday. My stomach definitely feels lighter than it usually does at this time of the day. I'm not burping as much as I did yesterday. I'm still burping, so it's not like I'm just not, the frequency is not as high. Ooh, that was a loud one.
The next day.
So I totally screwed up because I woke up this morning remembering that I had to film a check-in, but I completely blanked because I'm so tired. So I actually drank some tea. So my tummy is not the way it looked when I woke up. Not that it would have changed too much, but usually the moment you start drinking or eating in the morning, you do start to bloat. That being said, I did wake up feeling the same lightness that I felt the previous morning. I didn't necessarily feel like my tummy was flatter than the previous morning. In the previous morning, I said that I woke up feeling like my tummy was flatter than it usually was. I didn't necessarily see that this morning, and I think part of it is because I still ate food after having done the exercise. But like I said, my tummy did still feel light. In terms of this exercise, I definitely think that it's really quick. It's way quicker than the smoothie one, obviously. The only inconvenience that comes with it is, you know, the gassiness that shows up almost immediately after you're doing the exercise. Other than that, though, everything is pretty simple. Now, that being said, I don't think I would recommend this exercise for immediately after you eat because it can make your tummy really uncomfortable. I think I waited like maybe half an hour after I ate before doing this exercise, maybe more like 45 minutes. And even then, while I was doing the exercise, the part where I was doing the massage, that was still sore and painful. So I don't think I would recommend doing that immediately after you eat because I can really see like it having negative effects. It might make you throw up, or it might make you feel like you're gonna like throw up. So if you do want to try this exercise, please, please, please give your body time to let the food sink in, to let the food start digesting, because otherwise it won't have an effect. It will just have a negative effect, if that makes sense. Okay, so for the third exercise, this one has a voiceover that's actually kind of important, but because, you know, copyright and everything on YouTube, I don't want to include it. So for you to listen to that, definitely hit the links in the description box where I've linked all of these bloating hacks from TikTok.
When it rains, it pours. Pick yourself up off the floor. Nobody cares about keeping a score. Hand out to never go wait at the door. We keep up the work, then we'll open no more.
Okay, I will do 50 jumping jacks, and that's gonna be light movement. First thoughts on this exercise. I think because I was filming it, I was probably doing it wrong. I feel like I actually should have been lying down. I think it would have been a lot easier than me kind of like semi-propping myself up. I feel like this actually made me more bloated, and I think it's because of all the pushing around that you're doing. I am feeling a little bit burpy than I did before. So I think that is also the exercise working. As you remember from the previous exercise, I basically started burping right away. I think out of all three exercises so far, I like this one the least because it's the most amount of work. I just kept having to rewatch the video, and her video also wasn't as helpful as you think it would be. It was honestly kind of vague. I wish she had been more specific, and what I mean by being more specific is there was no mention of how many counterclockwise circles, or how long you should press down your lower abs, or how many times you should do it, or, you know, how long this entire thing is supposed to take, or what consists of light exercises. What if you're like, you know, just doing the bare minimum and only doing like 2 counterclockwise circles, but in reality you need to do like 10 for it to be effective. Like I said, right now I actually feel more bloated, but I think it's because the concentration of my bloating is right now constricted to the center of my tummy.
Later.
So it has been about an hour and 45 minutes. Haven't gone to the bathroom yet. Towards the hour mark, I definitely felt like I had a little bit of a stomach pain coming, but then it just kind of disappeared. I'm still a tad bit gassy, but other than that, like, I feel basically the same. I still feel, and I think I probably look as bloated as I did after I did the exercise. So I really don't think anything has changed from that. I guess what we'll see whether or not this exercise works is tomorrow morning when I wake up.
The next day.
Last night at around 12, so around 3 hours after I did the exercise, I had to go to the bathroom, and I obviously pooped, which is why I'm bringing it up. It was honestly super, super unsatisfying. And then this morning, kind of the same feeling. I pooped again in the morning, which, like I mentioned earlier, is usually when I poop. And it still feels unsatisfying. Like, I still have that feeling. And actually, like, waking up and looking at my tummy now, I feel like I am still bloated, and my body doesn't usually carry the bloated feeling onto the next day. So I have reason to believe that this exercise just did not work, and it actually just made my bloating situation worse.
Later.
We can't make this living for free. Take every second to visualize who you're gonna be. No more conversing. It's been about time that we put all the work in. So longer you wait to do what you say.
First off, I ate a really, really big dinner. I ate 2 large bowls, like actual large bowls of noodles, and I was feeling extremely overstuffed. I waited a solid, I would say, hour and a half since I finished eating before doing this exercise. And this exercise has made me feel worse. Like, not worse in terms of, you know, the amount of food I ate, just worse in terms of how it's sitting on my stomach. I don't feel comfortable at all, and whereas before I was feeling perfectly fine, I was actually pretty comfortable aside from, you know, being bloated, because that's what happens when you eat. But now I'm just feeling extreme discomfort. So yesterday I mentioned that I felt like my bloated had kind of congregated to the middle of my stomach as a result of this exercise. I feel the same way, although I feel like it's less than what it was like yesterday. And I think part of the reason is because I just basically lie down the entire time.
The next day.
I still feel like bloated. So here's what happened last night. I thought I would poop, but I didn't. But I did go to bed with this really uncomfortable feeling in not just my stomach, but also in my butt. The feeling where you want to, but it just won't come out. And I hate that feeling so much. The entire night, I had kind of hard trouble sleeping, partly, not like a lot, just partly, because of that feeling. And I woke up this morning and I pooped twice. And even to this point, I still have that feeling.
Waiting on others complete their to-dos, the harder it is for your dreams to come true, yeah.
Okay, and we are back from trying all 3 of those exercises. Out of all 3 of them, the one I'm most likely to come back to and the one I most actually enjoyed doing was the second hack. Despite the pain I felt while I was doing the actual exercise, I really enjoyed it and I really loved how light my body felt the next day. The only annoying thing about it was literally the pain while doing it and also all the burping. But other than that, like, it was super easy, super quick. It did not take a lot of time at all. It just takes like 2 to 3 minutes. There's no prep. There's no lotion. That being said, will I be doing the second exercise, you know, every day after dinner? Absolutely not. Definitely something that I might do if I'm feeling extra bloated or I've had like extra food that day and I just kind of want something that helps me kind of relieve the pressure of the bloat, if that makes sense. That's probably the actually best way to explain it. It kind of just relieves the bloating feeling and makes it like a lot more comfortable, so to speak. Just speaking about it is making me burp. That being said, would I recommend doing any of these exercises every day? I really don't, but that is, you know, my personal opinion. If you think that you can sustain doing any of these exercises every day, then by all means, go for it. But I am really skeptical. The body is meant to digest food in its own time. You know, we can help it by drinking smoothies or doing these exercises, but I don't want to harm the functions of my internal organs by doing something like this or by eating a smoothie or drinking a smoothie like that every single day. Anyways, that is my final prognosis. This was, like I said, a really fun video for me to make, although I'm sure it was a pain for me to edit. But I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any other kind of TikTok hacks you would want me to try that is related to body positivity, self-esteem, self-confidence, bloating, or whatever, let me know in the comments down below and I will definitely look into them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next Sunday for another video. Bye.
The attachment, the whooper get lit for reaction. I'll pay it no mind, continue to grind and go make it happen.